Okay, guys, we're just going to do a quick channeled message. I'm cooking right now, so I have a moment. And I've already got 3 cards drawn that were just the 3 that fell out. And we've got an... Did you hear that? Okay. We just have a channeled message. Just right off the bat, I wanted to let you know that your angels want you to know that they are protecting you. We're going to start off with the Hanson Roberts Tarot because that's where the 3 cards came from. And this is a collective message, of course. I think I'm talking to an Aries. I may be talking to an Aries, but it's a collective message. So could be Aries, could be a fire sign. We're going to clarify as we go. And as you know, my name is Rita Yanez. This is a channeled message. You're watching this video through YouTube, on YouTube. If you see it anywhere else, it's been stolen, okay? We won't worry too much about that. There's always going to be somebody. All right. And I'm using the giant deck, which just means that there are 4 or 5 entire decks of the same here, okay? So we're just going to start off with these. We've got the 6 of Cups, so someone is focusing on the past, thinking about the past. Could be a person, doesn't have to be. It could just be nostalgia and memories. The Devil in reverse in the past and the Hierophant in reverse in the future with that 6 of Cups is making me feel like there has been a temptation in the past for you or for someone that you know. This is about someone who may have aligned with the negative aspects of temptation. Hopefully, the nostalgia is about wanting to go back to simpler times, better times, times when a person felt more innocent and was more free. That Hierophant in reverse, you know, I'm just going to have to say it. Somebody's having difficulty breaking away from a tradition that could be tied to something very cult-like, some group think, some group mentality. And I just want to let you know that if I'm saying words like cult, you know, that could just be a group of people that are thinking a certain way. If I say words like black magic, it doesn't have to be somebody literally standing over a cauldron or digging up dirt at a graveyard or doing anything that could get you in trouble. It could usually lend itself more easily to things like spells being words. When you talk poorly about a person, that's a spell. And again, just be loose with that idea. Okay. Talking about talking and words and spells, I do... Oh, too many. I do want to say that, you know, if somebody is talking crap about somebody, speaking ill of someone, it's good to ignore those things and just let that go in one ear and out the other. But also remember that if somebody is talking about someone and speaking ill of them, a friend will always let you know. Now, if you know somebody who would rather not tell you something, you know, I always say leave it in God's hands, but a real friend is going to let you know, hey, so-and-so is saying these things. I trust you with that information. And anybody who is a friend of yours isn't going to listen to that and won't be talking to that person anymore. You know, there are always going to be the type of people that continually align themselves with people who are negative and people who are word spell casters, you know what I mean? But a healthy, normal person isn't going to hang around with people like that. They're not going to call those people friends. They're not going to entertain those conversations, because by entertaining them, they are part of that problem, part of that dialogue, part of that cultish system. And I'm really feeling led to say that. I don't know if you're dealing with somebody like that, if you've got a friend like that, if you're able to say that that's a friend. I'm going to challenge you to say that's not your friend. Anybody who would be talking to you and at the same time entertains relationships with people who are like that, they are not your friend. And it's best to just let them go or minimize your exposure to them. Don't let them trauma dump on you, because, anybody can have a healthy speculation about, well, so-and-so said X, Y, and Z about me, or did X, Y, and Z. That's a fact. That's an observation. Everybody knows what malicious kind of speak is. The card that flew out here is the 5 of Wands in reverse, and that totally goes with what I'm channeling here. That gives me the idea that someone somebody who may be around you, somebody may be like this. So we're going to go with that theme that I'm channeling here. It's gossip. It's petty. It's very heated. Those are ugly words. That's an ugly spirit. We don't take pity on these people. We don't hang around those people. We don't deal with people like that. We extricate ourselves from environments like that. And that 5 of Wands is talking about that. Somebody needs to really get away from people like this. And I'm going to think that somebody who may be just like this, and perhaps that has been the temptation and what you're trying to get away from, or that's what's happening around you. And okay, here we go. Someone who lied about you, somebody spreading malicious gossip or did about you, somebody wants to apologize to you, and you should not entertain this person at all. Neither should you entertain that apology. They want to finish the job, as it were. This is somebody who really wants to just come around to either do damage control, get other people to talk to you. We're going to take the top one. Let's see how many. King of Swords in reverse. This could be a male. So we have a male, could be an air sign. I know I started off with saying that this is a reading for Aries, or about an Aries, or something very fiery, but we do have the King of Swords in reverse. King of Swords reverse is an air sign. We also have the Hangman, so this person could be on the fence. This could be the person who is talking to somebody else or engaging in that, certainly just hanging around and like, oh, well, I'm not involved. I'm just hearing it and letting it go. No, you are part of the problem. If you are the person that's entertaining this, just kind of like hanging around watching this, you're not doing anybody any favors. You are part of the problem. If this is a person who's in your life and you know about this situation, then that air sign is part of the problem. With that Hangman in reverse, with that 5 of Wands in reverse, or excuse me, that Hanged Man upright. Hierophant in reverse. They're kind of going along with it, aren't they? They're not doing the right thing. Page of Wands in reverse. There you go. You've got that idle gossip and that talking. So I'm going to keep shuffling so that I could keep channeling this. One card didn't want to come with it. All right. So the kind of gossip that I'm getting isn't really effective, because other people are seeing you as you are. They're seeing you the correct light for who you are. Somebody said that you're irresponsible. Somebody said that you're a sexual deviant. Now, this could be about you or someone that you're aware of, or you're just, for entertainment purposes only, you're just enjoying this story. All right. Somebody said that you're a sexual deviant, an evil person. Maybe they called you a witch or a warlock or whatever. Somebody said that you're a prostitute, a streetwalker, or somebody who has an immoral life, or, usually they project and they're talking about themselves. Remember, again, there's no need to entertain this person or persons from the past, this situation, whatever this is. It's better to stay away from all of them. If you're just needing confirmation, then here you go. This is about money. This is about some kind of inheritance, and inheritance doesn't have to just literally mean an inheritance in the way that we usually understand it. This could just be an inheritance that is your reputation, right? Your reputation is your own inheritance. It's your legacy. It's what you cultivate. It's what lasts. This is about public image. If something was stolen from you, it's going to be returned to you in the same way or in an equivalent way with interest. The divine, Jesus, the Most High God, will never let this go. Somebody's experiencing health issues. Health issues and aren't always directly associated to something that you're doing. You know, obviously, if you stub your toe and break it, it doesn't have to mean that it's because you're an evil person engaging in evil things. I said eagle, didn't I? All right, that's my sign to, let's go to some of the channeled cards. All right. Let me make a little room here. Eagle. An eagle is significant. Air Force One is significant. The Air Force is significant. An eagle in flight. All right, here we go. The initial D is significant here. And we'll only channel for a moment because I don't want this to take forever. I just want to entertain you for a moment or give you the confirmation that you already are aware of, but it's interesting to hear it confirmed back to you. Something stolen will be returned to you. If it was damage to your reputation, that is being seen as bullshit. I guarantee you. Six of Cups, Hierophant, Devil in the reverse. It's useless. Somebody's in trouble. Somebody's losing their job, lost their job, is about to lose their job, can't find a job. All right. Let's see. Something could involve a home, a house, living, a real estate, a parcel of land, coworkers. This could be about a lover, current or former. Could be about somebody else's lover, current, former, a partner, some ex-partner. The words that were said about you, we've got a woman plans to say she's still in a relationship with him, whoever him is. The gender roles, flip them and switch them as you need, but remember to leave the message as intact as possible. You know, take what resonates, but you know, don't force it to fit. Those words reach the right ear. Some words have reached an authority figure, somebody who could be in law enforcement or an investigator of some kind. Probably somebody through the same group. There's a mole in the group. There's an informant in the group, or a person has switched sides and is now doing the right thing and has been or is the whistleblower. That person didn't believe what they said about you anyway, and they have very well been the person who started the investigation, aided the investigation, furthered the investigation themselves. If you think you're being stalked, you probably are. So just be safe and ignore it. Sometimes people just want to get a reaction out of you or make you feel unsafe. You're safe. You know, if you see something, say something, report a crime if you see it. Let local law enforcement handle that. If you're being harassed online or somebody's doing something, that becomes interstate law, so that would involve the feds. All right, so let the police know what you know or what you see to assist them while they're protecting you. Don't abuse the system, okay? So, you know, don't just call and say, I think everybody's stalking me. If you see something, say something. If you don't feel safe, it's best to let law enforcement help you, and they will handle it. Somebody's name is Tiana. Somebody's name could start with a T. Let's see, we won't channel too much more. And I've seen this card twice. We're going to take it. Good news is on the side of the person who has done nothing wrong. All right? Never feel bad about being yourself. Okay? The people that are involved in whatever this is. You know, gang stalking could be significant. Let's clarify the devil. Not that the devil needs much clarification. Whomever you are, you've got some fucked up people around you. And remember, people are just stupid. You can't fix stupid. That was a famous joke for a very long time. Because it's true. You can't fix stupid. Stupid people are just stupid. People that are operating at a very low frequency, to put it mildly. Sometimes people just can't help intellectual disabilities, and I'm not trying to be unkind. Not everybody is Einstein. Clarify the devil. It flew over here to the King of Swords, so we're going to clarify the King of Swords. This could be somebody in law enforcement, somebody who was in law enforcement, somebody who's in military, just somebody who's an air sign. Ace of Cups in reverse. Their cups are being reversed. Could be that their relationship is in reverse. No new beginning, perhaps with somebody, maybe the subject that they were talking about. What is this, Spirit? Somebody drives a red Honda. I just saw that. Okay, this one wants to fly over here. Clarifying the devil. That's why can't make this shit up. That's why I advise people who are readers to do what I do. And, you know, everybody does it their own way, their own style. Bottom of the deck, you saw that. Seven of Cups. Somebody is delusional. All right, so we have the Three of Wands in reverse. This King of Swords, his plans are foiled. Whomever this person is, I said he, so we're probably dealing with a he. Somebody's actions are leading to plans that don't work out. What is this, Spirit? Okay. Boy, it really does feel gossipy, doesn't it? All right, what are we clarifying? Let's clarify the initial D. Why is D significant? D is associated with an empress that wanted to fly outside. Why, somebody who wants to be an empress can't be an empress. Could be any sign, really. I'm not going to really take it that deep in a reading this short. The initial D is associated with somebody who's an empress. She's a mother figure. Coming out sideways, she's a challenge. You know, it could be that the empress is an upright empress. The name Diana is significant here, can be significant, as can be the name Dan. Maybe the challenge is to these horrible people that the empress is an empress and there's nothing you can do about it. What are you going to do? All right. Why is the devil acting this way? I think we've got the message. I think we've got a pretty good idea of what's going on. I'm wondering if I should just upload these segments into 12 and put them into the monthlies, because I ended up changing the way I was doing things. And if you could see the amount of equipment that's around me right now, you just see a wooden table. I've been busy doing other things, so I couldn't really get to that directly. The devil doesn't want to clarify further. Let's see if I can get one to fly. Let's see what we clarify. Who are these people? Okay, so we have the Knight of Swords, and I'm going to set it over here with the woman plans to say she's still in a relationship with him. There's a jealous woman out here. This could all be about jealousy. You know, I'm really not seeing any specifics about where this took place, but the Knight of Swords in reverse is one pissed off person. Somebody is very angry. Somebody is irrational. Somebody who's just pissed off for the sake of being pissed off. Somebody who can't let something go. Somebody who's using their words, taking action with words in the most negative sense. All right, let's see. Oh, this one, it flipped over in the deck, so we're going to take it. So about what's going on, somebody's being malicious. Somebody's trying to come back to apologize to you to cover their tracks. They're going to try to cut their losses. What are they cutting their losses about, Spirit? Fly where you need to fly. Somebody flies. Somebody's a pilot. 8 of Swords, because somebody wants to get free, flew right over there. They're in a prison of their own mind, or prison of the words. They're trying to be like, well, I didn't, you know, maybe this is the person, the air sign that's like, I know people are talking shit. Now I feel like I'm a prisoner. Well, then get away from these people. Boy, do I still have the Aries energy with me? All right, somebody just is trying to come back to apologize to you, whoever you are, trying to ameliorate the situation. And out comes the Page of Swords. Do you see that? Here we go. News is coming. This is all about swords. This is about anger. This is about words. This is about communication. This is about gossip. This is about spying on somebody. This one flew over here, but it fell this way. All right, we've got the Ace of Wands for you, who is probably the target of this or knows the target of this. If you're the cross watcher in this situation, you identify with the devil energy. You're the cross watcher. You don't have a new beginning. You're not going to get away from this, where our subject, probably the Empress, gets a new beginning. All right. And somebody's moving. We've got the Four of Wands upright. Somebody could be moving. Somebody's new beginning could involve moving. I don't see relationship cards yet. I was going to say Lord. Okay, that's my cue. Clarify the Fool in reverse. Why is there, well, it's obvious. Why is there no new beginning for somebody who's being a son of a bitch? Or like, this is a group. We've got, you know, I get a group because I'm channeling group. Okay, let's go back to the channel messages. Let me shuffle here real quick. All right. This has something to do with someone who assumed your identity to appear as you on camera. So something about camera, something about appearances, something about someone on camera, something recorded on camera. Okay, we'll take the other top one. A mature man who recently spent time in a specific significant confinement. Somebody could be in prison. That would go over here with that Ace of Swords. I was going to say Ace of Swords. Definitely the truth. I'm telling the truth here. 8 of Swords. Somebody, a man, because that's a channeled message that I've committed to paper. Somebody was in a period of confinement. Now that could be in some kind of a psychiatric facility. We've got a lot of mind going on here. This could have to do with somebody who actually is in prison, was in prison, or is going to prison, even though we do have, says spent, so that would be in the present tense. I don't know why 5 months is significant for whomever's watching or about whomever's watching. This one flipped over in the deck. We've got judgment. Of course we would. Of course we'd get judgment. All right. So somebody's under judgment. That's why they can't have a new beginning. That's why they feel like they're in a prison of their mind. Somebody's gossiping. People are listening. Nobody's intervening. But we do have the person on the inside that could be the mole. That is a person who could be associated with law enforcement, was planted or is a plant, and or is just doing the right thing. That one wanted to flip over. We're going to take it. Some people, a couple is out in the cold. We're going to channel that message real quick. We're at 2125. 2025 could be significant. That would be something happening now. Okay, we're going to clarify. Who's the couple that's a 5 of Pentacles? All right, we're going to take all 3 because we're going to wrap this up. A couple at a doctor's office is told their STD is incurable. These are channel messages, which means I've seen this in channeling. And so some people are out in the cold and they have some kind of a disease. Well, we know the kind, a sexually transmitted disease. We also have ancestors of a royal bloodline bless a quiet woman. We're going to put this over here toward the center. And then we're going to take just this one. A man with body odor. Do you... falsifies a tax return and is flagged by the IRS. I couldn't say that. All right, so we're going to sum this up. Maybe just get a couple other if they pop out. So this is about gossip. This is about people talking about somebody. This is about people that are in trouble or trying to cover something up, quiet something. It's probably about a woman, a quiet woman, somebody from an ancestral bloodline that is royal. Doesn't necessarily have to mean that you are from a royal bloodline. If you know, you know, but this could be a situation where it just means that you carry yourself like royalty, that you respect yourself, that you're admirable, that people see you as such. And somebody is in trouble with their tax returns or something they did with tax returns. And apparently there's a man who smells bad. Okay. Anything else, Spirit, before we wrap this up? And I'm not, hating on people that spend significant time in mental health facilities or anybody else that needs mental health. I'm always going to tell you that there's, bottom of the deck. This couple is in trouble. I almost said cauldron as in bubble. Somebody practices some weird bullshit kind of witchcraft. I'm telling you that shit doesn't work. For the collective, don't believe in it because it doesn't work. Yes, I believe that people can be affected when they're at a low vibration, when, there are situations, and we've all been there. I've been there, different places and times in our life where we've already been knocked down a bit. Something else happens and somebody swoops in to take advantage of that low vibration on purpose. But if you're vibrating at a high level and keep yourself surrounded by the light of Christ, they can't touch you. That's why they get worse. But if you're a chosen one, you know what I'm saying. They get worse, but the adversary is always going to try you. Okay, 9 of Pentacles is where we're at with you, probably collective. Don't worry about whether you're an Empress, male or female. And then you see that we've got that 4 of Wands shows up in reverse. While the blessings are happening here to somebody who's royal or is royal-like or carries themselves like royalty or knows their own wealth, probably somebody who's self-employed or somebody that can't take care of themselves. Somebody else's house is falling apart. This is giving me like a whole house falling apart. Diseases are present here. Was there another card underneath? Or I said we were going to take another one if it popped out. Let's see. Anything else about this unfortunate crew or person or couple? Obviously, there's a couple involved. Look, people, just, stay clean, go to the doctor, and don't get yourself don't let people give you diseases. We're at a time in life where if this isn't obvious, it's not time to mess around. You see how people are. People are sick. And there are people that, okay, I'm not saying that in every group of people there's going to be a prostitute or somebody, because there could just be people that are loose, spread their legs, sleep with everybody. Maybe it's a communal thing. And then there you have it. Better to be celibate and selective if you are going to engage. Anything else, Spirit? Whoa! You're not going to believe it. I got to grab it. Hang on. Oh my God. Did you see how far that flew? Judgment again. All right, we're going to wrap that up at 25. I feel like do I really want to? Let's get one more card. All right, what is a judgment about? What is a final outcome here? If you've been going through this and people have been doing shit to you, don't worry. You come across as a Queen of Wands, somebody who's vibrant, energetic, in good health. You feel great. You're probably healthy as a horse. Everybody's got, like, what they say in, I think, is it Mexicans that say achaques or something like that? Somebody could be Mexican. I could be talking to somebody who's Mexican. Somebody knows that word. It just means, yeah, you get older, you get aches and pains. You're young, you get hurt in a sporting thing. It doesn't mean that you're not in good health. You're in good health if you know you're in good health. All right. Other people, when they're not in good health, it's, I'm not a medical doctor, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't go to the doctor when something's wrong. There is such a thing as going to the doctor too much. Somebody from out in the country taught me that. Queen of Wands, what is your next move? What is coming for you in the future? The Lovers. Whomever you are, male or female, you have to make a decision. This decision could involve a relationship. It could be a love relationship. And whatever it is, make your decisions wisely, because there are stupid people around you. What can you do with stupid people? Nothing. I started pulling accidentally, so we're just going to keep going with it. All right. 1984 could be significant. Somebody could be 84. Somebody could be 19. You know what to do with that. And unfortunately, for you, I get praying. Somebody's got a DUI. And unfortunately, we have one of the 48 rules. We've got Law 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Forge your own path, not theirs. I'm going to take that in a positive way. Go your own way. Do your own thing. Don't be a follower. Be a leader. Forge your own path when you're making this decision. Doesn't mean you have to step on anybody. Make good choices. Take good care.